Hello amazing beautiful people, this is Milena. Today we're going to talk about a quick and easy tool that we can use in order to determine whether something is good for us. Now when I say good, bad, right, wrong, all of these things are polarities that we are now moving beyond. So take this word good with a grain of salt, because later on in just a little bit I'm going to explain what I mean by this. This is a very simple question, a tool that we can ask ourselves in order to determine whether something is good for us. And when I say something, it could be a situation, an activity, an undertaking, a relationship, an interaction, a situation, anything really in our life, because it's pretty universal. When we look at that situation, oftentimes we're not quite sure, is this good for us? Is this relationship good for me? Is this job good for me? Should I be looking for another one? We ask ourselves these questions. All of those things are very much related to one thing. Most of us come here with a specific intent. We have a reason for being on this planet. But one of the agreements that we usually make for most of us coming here is to forget all of these things, to shrink our awareness so that we can have that more narrowly focused experience. However, we encoded this information inside our body. There's a knowledge, maybe kind of in a sleep state within us, that knows why we're here, what we came here to do. And with this question, we can activate that knowledge that can then, with resonance dissonance, give us an answer to questions whether something is actually good for us and we want to continue with it or not. This question is not something that I came up with. I learned it from Inelia Benson. As always, you can find a lot more of her amazing tools on her website. I'm going to post it right here. So let's say we're looking at a job and we're wondering if this is good for us. We ask ourselves the question, does this job support my reason, my main reason for being on the planet or not? And then we sit and we just wait for an answer. Or maybe we're in a relationship and we say, does this relationship support my main reason for being on the planet here and now or not? Does this undertaking, or does this business, for example, does this activity support my main reason for being on the planet here and now or not? And the thing is, even though we might not have clearly formulated in our own mind, in our own head, what our reason for being on the planet is, we will still get a response from that internal compass, from that encoded information that we place within ourselves so that we can remember when we need to. We will get an answer, whether it's yes or no. Of course, if we're clear on our reason for being on the planet, it's way easier and probably even faster. We get a stronger signal whether something supports our core reason. Why is that important? Because that means that we are in harmony with ourselves, that we are in unison with ourselves. Very often when I talk to people and I say, well, if you can connect to your guides and your entourage, what is one question that you would like to ask them? And one of the most common answers to that is, I would want to ask them if I'm on the right track, if I'm fulfilling my mission, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, who is to determine that? You, of course. You came up with specific decisions and intent and desires, and that doesn't mean they can't change. Of course, they can and often do change throughout the course of our lifetime. But our core, our main reason for being on the planet usually stays the same. And for many of us is simply to anchor, to carry a particular vibration or an energy that adds to the pool of the human collective so that we can transcend a particular type of experience and create a new one. Well, that's in today's day and age. Sometimes people were here simply just to hold a certain frequency so that things could stay at that frequency. But right now we're in an accelerated process of increasing that vibration and moving in an upward direction. And many of us came here to do exactly that and facilitate with that process. So when we ask ourselves that question, does this support my main reason for being here on the planet or not? Then we can scan and see whether we're in harmony, in unison with ourselves, and give ourselves permission to drop the things that aren't. For the most part, the answers that we will get would be clear and will be very specific whether something is supportive for your main reason for being on the planet or isn't. What is the end result if we apply this tool? What I recommend that you do is, at least for a week, preferably 2, you scan the activities, the relationships, the situations, the interactions that you go into. And you ask yourself that question for every one of them. Does this support my main reason for being on the planet here and now? And if it doesn't, see if you can tweak it in a way so that it does. Or allow yourself to drop it and to move on to something else. Because what happens if we do that? We drop all the weight of all the unnecessary stuff, and it's unnecessary because it's not in harmony with our own intent, with ourselves, with our reason for being here. And then our capacity and our energy and focus to invest our time and energy into the things that are in harmony with ourselves and with that intent increases tremendously. We feel lighter, we move with ease, we feel like we are fulfilling our mission and purpose, we feel so much more connected. And if you need more help applying that into your own experience, book a session at askmilena.com. Remember to subscribe to my newsletter as well as the channel, and click on the bell down below so that you can get notified of all future videos which come out on Friday. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.